Welcome to Mary Alice.
What did you do?
We are a Desperate Housewives recap podcast with me, Erin McGee.
And me, Jakub Tansey. Two best friends breaking down each episode until we answer the ultimate question, Mary Alice, what did you do?
Unless, of course, we have finished season 1, in which case, insert new mystery here.
Yes, there's a lot to unpack on Wisteria Lane.
Content warnings can be found in the episode description.
So get comfortable and let's get into this week's episode.
Hello.
Hello. So I want to start this episode with a rare, and I want to stress rare, correction on my end. Because I feel like for the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've just been going on and on about how there's 22 episodes in this season. There's 23.
I thought there was more than that.
Yeah. And I realized that recently and I was like, oh no, what have I done? So you have my sincerest apologies.
I think I will forgive you.
Thank you so much.
But the viewers may not. And by viewers, I mean the listeners.
I'll have to release a public apology.
Please do on the notes app. And it has to be, I will take accountability moving forward. And it has to have been written by AI.
Of
so
course.
we know it's genuine.
There's no other way.
How have you been, baby?
I've been good. We went together before this recording to a flat viewing that is just right around the corner from here.
Which I would have loved. I would have loved you being that close to me, but also I'm planning on moving, so I think it would have given me a lot of mixed feelings.
Would have been in vain. Also, it was not the one.
It was so
not the one.
Yeah, there was a moment where the letting agent left, and I just turned to Jakub and shook my head.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and it's like my heart wasn't in it even from just looking at the listing. I was just like, when I booked that viewing, I was very much just like, oh, there's nothing. I've got to go see something. So I was truly going into this knowing it was a waste of everyone's time.
I feel that desperation. I think that's a normal phase to be in. It's like the stages of grief. I haven't seen anything in a while. And I do have that itch. But at the same time, a lot of the places I'm going, I know I don't want them. So why would I waste my time? Oh.
It is what it is. How have you been?
I've been all right. So I went on holiday to Mallorca with my family. Had a lovely time. Got to hang out with my great nephew because I'm a granty. Got to hang out with my niece. Got to hang out with my adoptive niece. She is not officially adopted, but she is emotionally adopted. My sister, my mum. Great time. Last day, I think I got heat exhaustion. And I got really, really unwell. I'm on medication that makes you more prone to that stuff. So I was being extra careful. I was drinking all the water. I was staying in the shade. I had all the sun cream on possible. I don't even have tan lines. And I felt really sick, and then I thought I got a little bit better, and then I kind of fell off the cliff once I came home, and I was literally going from shivering to fever every 5 minutes, and I turned into such a little baby, and I felt so bad for Rory because I came home and I wanted to be excited to see him, but I was just like, I'm broken. How was your birthday, baby?
Oh my God. Yeah, I can't believe this is the first time I've actually seen you since then. It feels like that was forever ago.
I can believe it. You look significantly older.
I've had enough of your shit, Erin.
It took you long enough.
You've been trying to wear me down, but here we are.
Yeah.
No. Well, that makes sense because when we're at that viewing, when the agent turned up, I was like, I was going to make a joke, but then he got too close. I was like, I don't want him to hear. I was like, oh, maybe he'll think we're a couple. And if I'm looking significantly older, then that makes sense for you.
That was a very, very long route you took to get back at me, but I'm very proud of you for doing it.
It was worth the journey.
Jakub
I love a journey.
while I was away, Jakub was still messaging me, obviously, because we're like Velcro. And he sent me, he went, oh, this guy is so your type. And he just sent me images of the TV show he was watching, and it was just a very old man. It wasn't even a handsome old man. It was just an old man.
What even show? I don't even remember what the pictures were.
I'll show you right now. We can edit this bit, and let's see.
Oh, yeah, from Freaky Friday, the husband from Freaky Friday.
Is that who it
yeah.
is? Yeah. No. Just because they are old doesn't mean they're my type. That's like me saying, you're not attracted to every twink.
Wow, called out because maybe I'm Erin. No, I'm joking.
But when we were doing the viewing of of that place, I was really tempted, but I had no energy to give. But I really did want to do like put an arm on your shoulder and be like, "Sweetie, do you think this is where our children could grow?"
I think at that point, even though the agent would have been like, "I don't think that's a good idea."
He takes me aside. He's like, "Girl, he's gay."
Also in Edinburgh at the moment, we've got the Fringe Festival.
Yes.
I've seen a ton of stuff, and I went to see Inlet, which, have you heard of that one?
I don't think so.
It's kind of like this, it's these three people who are naked, and it's kind of like interpretive dance, and it's like, apparently it's up for Show of the Year award.
Oh.
But I was reading the pamphlet thing, or the program, and it's kind of retelling the story of Romulus and Remus and
cool.
symbolism for like borders in modern day and It was very cool.
Yeah.
But I'm a very literal person. So I read the pamphlet, but I was just like, yeah, it looks cool. I was not following anything else.
I'm dying at you repeatedly calling it the pamphlet.
I'm Team Bree here. We love a pamphlet.
Yeah, Team Bree, Team Carlos, Team
whoever else had a pamphlet in that one episode. So this week, we're talking about episode 20. We made it to double digits, babe, as I was so excited for.
We're in the second decade of our podcast.
I really like this episode.
I did and I didn't.
Okay.
I think there were some things that just,
I think we've talked about before that we like when the stories cross over and stuff.
Love
and then
that.
I felt that kind of excited. It feels like the episode builds more.
Yeah.
Like you'll see that this episode does sort of climax at a barbecue. I just enjoy that kind of tension build up. We're also going to see the return of one of the greats. And I can't wait to get there.
Do you know what this episode was for me? This episode was coming home because the last couple of episodes, while they've been good, I've really missed a lot of our minor characters.
And they're back, baby, in full force.
They are, and their outfits. Anyway, okay. Right.
Let's do it. Okay. So we start with classic Mary Alice voiceover.
Classic Angela voiceover.
Angela, ooh.
Get it?
I do. I really do. And she says, since she was a little girl, Susan Meyer wanted to be a mother in the worst way, is what I wrote. But is it not she wanting to be a good mother in the worst way? Have I written that?
She definitely wants to be a good mother.
She's trying her best. Basically, she's trying her best, but we know what Susan's like. So we get a flashback montage of Susan being scatterbrained bad mom throughout Julie's life.
The worst one to me, even though like the comedic one of, you're getting out of the house and you forget that the baby's there 2 seconds later. Totally understandable. Her leaving the baby on the couch?
Yeah, rolls right onto the floor.
Bad. That was bad.
Bad
that had me gasping.
Yeah, and then I think the third one we see is Julie's going round on a roundabout, but the edge of the roundabout is kind of off frame, and at one point she just stops coming back around. That kind of cracked me up. Mary Alice tells us she was always trying her best, though, and that all mothers make mistakes. But now that Julie was a teenager, Mary Alice continues, Susan had realised there was no room for error. And with this, we see Susan look out the window to investigate a noise, which is coming from Zack throwing pebbles at Julie's window, clearly trying to get her attention. Susan confronts Julie about it, who makes it clear she's not speaking with him, which is why he's trying to get her attention. And so Susan opens the window instead to confront Zack, just as he throws a full handful of gravel right in Susan's face. Cut to Zack inside, profusely apologising, but also wondering why Julie isn't speaking to him. And in case you forgot, Julie was super weirded out by Zack's finger guns at his pool party.
That makes it sound like
it sounds so silly,
that
but
made it sound like Zack told a joke and then did some finger guns, and Julie's no longer interested.
She got the ick.
He said, "Whoa, knock knock, who's there?"
Pew pew. Oh my God.
He was imitating being violent with the gun, for those that don't remember.
Yes.
And threatening to shoot someone,
Exactly,
essentially.
yes. And then Susan basically kicks him out, leaving Julie relieved as she's been trying to find a way to end things with him properly. And Susan takes this as a mothering win.
Yes. So, lots to say. I think that this is introducing the idea that Zack is in limerence.
What does
Julie.
that mean?
Limerence, so I've looked up the definition because I really didn't want to get this wrong. It's an involuntary mental and emotional state of intense, obsessive infatuation with another person, characterized by a strong desire for reciprocation of one's feelings and intrusive, consuming thoughts. It can lead to a mood dependency on the other person's actions. It can lead to idealization of them and a significant impact on daily life, potentially becoming an all-consuming fixation or a form of love addiction. We've spoken a little bit before about how he has borderline personality disorder, and that type of thing can cause kind of an obsession with a certain person. And I really feel sorry for Zack in this episode. I'm not excusing any of his behavior, but I just feel like he's such a lost little boy.
He's not getting the help he needs.
He kind of, he's an accident waiting to happen. That's how it feels for me anyway. And it hurts my feelings. But also I am like, Julie, run, girl, run. And then we get...
Oh my God. Yeah, we were making zombie noises earlier and I can't quite remember why.
Because I asked you to make a zombie noise for me.
Okay, should we give it a go?
Okay.
Halloween special. It's gonna make a comeback then.
I'm so sorry for those who had to sit through that, but I will say we do take suggestions.
See, you say sorry, I say you're welcome.
You're welcome. My throat hurts from that.
Also, earlier I was going ready to get into it, and then you went, so Zack, and I was like,
You were warming up. You were doing the
Yeah.
like do re mi. Okay. Next we're back in springtime. The lane looks fake.
I think the bees are CGI.
I literally have a note saying, "Are the bees CGI?"
I think they are.
Because they just look.
They're too perfect.
Yes.
And I'm like, not with those 2004 cameras.
Yes. No. The bees are CGI. The lane looks fake. And George, Jakub's favorite character, is back on the lane.
Zombie noise is back.
Bree is dressed as a bee, and I love it.
I loved it too. This was my outfit of the week. Standout outfit. Phenomenal.
So good. It's like a flowery white cardigan. And you can see it's kind of like a patchwork type of situation. So there's gaps in it. And a butter yellow dress with like a butter yellow belt.
It's so cute.
And George comes over and is speaking to Bree and Rex. And he is suggesting that they go see this bonsai tree exhibit. And Bree is really keen. Rex isn't. And it turns into this weird, mediocre masculinity face-off. And at one point, Rex says, "Wouldn't it be easier to shoot me?" And George says, "Probably." George is also getting a little bit of information from the both of them about Rex's heart condition. Now, we know that George has been meddling with Rex's heart medication for quite some time. And Rex is mentioning that his cardiologist is upping his dose, but nothing is working for him at the moment. Bree then seems to be doing this weird, I'm going to stop all the tension. I don't really understand her motives this episode in general. That will return. But she takes both of their arms, messy, and they're talking about how Rex got an orchid, and George very pointedly says, "I hate people who own precious flowers and don't know how to take care of them."
Very obvious metaphor which Desperate Housewives and Jakub loves. But Bree is picking up on none of it.
No, I think Bree in this episode is Zendaya in Challengers. She's in the
Excellent.
middle. She doesn't.
Oh my God.
But I really don't understand her motivation, because why does she want this man to still be in her life? What does George actually bring?
She kind of touches on it a little bit in the next scene.
Still.
But what had me cracking up is because Bree is just acting so clueless as to the competition going on between, or the back and forth going on between Rex and George and the thinly veiled metaphors and stuff. And she's a smart lady.
Yeah.
But I know we had a long pre-episode preamble, but I am going to give a tangent here.
Jakub tangent. No.
Close. I was talking about that interpretive dance thing I saw.
Yes.
And we actually were we went for a drink with the cast afterwards.
Ooh.
So I was chatting to one of them, and my friend was there. He was talking about all the deep meanings and stuff. And he asked me what I thought. And I was basically like, oh, there's this bit where the three performers are kind of all backwards on top of each other in sort of like a crab pose and making one big person. And it reminded me of this monster from Evil Dead Rise, where all the monsters merge together. And I just felt so much like Bree in that moment, where I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but it was pretty. I had a nice time.
I thought you were going to say, and it reminded me of the Human Centipede.
Oh God, that would have been a lot worse. I'm glad I didn't go there.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know if we mentioned, but this scene takes place at a sort of garden center, outdoor type thing. And although Rex said going to a bonsai exhibition would make him want to shoot himself, he is here. And I'm like, okay, well, he probably doesn't enjoy this either, but it's nice to see him doing things with Bree that he knows Bree will like and stuff, you know?
Yeah, but maybe don't make jokes about shooting yourself to the person who's one of their best friends shot themselves.
That's a very valid point.
That's just me.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's move on. Yeah. So in the next scene, we're back at the Vandy Camp's home, and Rex wants Bree to cancel on George, as he's clearly in love with Bree, or at least into her. And he also picked up on something which I noticed in the previous scene when Bree, when they're laughing, touches George's shoulder, and then he kind of touches the spot where Bree had her hand, and it's a very significant moment for George, clearly.
Yeah.
It's quite intense. But Rex also mentions that they should even swap pharmacists, to which I say, please do.
As he
we
should.
beg. But yeah, he's arguing that she's going to give him false hope by hanging out with him. And Bree doesn't want to give up on her only cultural friend, which is kind of the only motivation we get for her actions this episode. Yeah. But ultimately she agrees. And so she asks Rex if he still trembles at her touch like George did. And he doesn't, because they've been married 18 years. And he still doesn't know, after all that time, when Bree needs him to lie.
Yeah, I think there is something about her getting that excitement from George and that feeling desired and feeling wanted. Our next scene, we're splitting in half. Stay with us. It's going to all be okay. This is a safe space. We have you. So, we're in what feels like a crossover episode this scene. Bree is at the pharmacy. She sees George, and she is essentially doing a friendship breakup with George, saying, I don't think this is good. I think that Rex is maybe right. He thinks there's something still going on. Let's call it. He says, oh, that's so weird because I'm deeply in love with my girlfriend, Ginger. And he turns and Bree goes, Ginger the stalk girl? Ginger looks very confused by this, of course, because it's all a lie. And Bree is delighted. Bree says, you know what? This is going to be a great thing because Rex is going to see how in love you are with Ginger, realize there's nothing going on between us, and then I get to have my friend back. So, do you want to come to my friend's husband's incarceration barbecue? Do you want to come?
I think if someone asked me that, I would simply be compelled to say yes, because that sounds messy and fun.
Oh, I'm going.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that Bree is saying it as if it's a birthday party, a normal thing to invite someone to. It is literally a celebration of Charlos.
Charles. You've really got Charlie on the brain, Charlie Swan.
It is a celebration of Carlos going to jail.
For a crime he committed.
For a crime he has committed, said he's committed.
Hey, I profited off of slave labor. Come have this barbecue.
Yes, come have this barbecue hosted by the money that I got from the slave labor. It is all so insane. And no one's talking about it.
No. Oh my God.
Anywho.
And then at the very end of the scene, we hear from the bathroom, Gabby yell, "Son of a bitch!" And then she comes out, sees Bree. Oh, they were out of toilet paper.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, she'll call Bree later. Don't worry about it. We will return to that.
We'll get there.
So for now, we're moving on to talk about Susan. And Paul. And Mike. And Felicia. And Zack. Basically all of the main mystery-related characters. So Paul approaches Edie at the construction site of her new home.
I missed her so much.
Oh, we have missed her. Also, she's wearing an interesting outfit. I couldn't decide if I liked it or not.
I didn't like the fake flower in her hair.
Yeah, the flower didn't feel right. It felt like she was staff at like a Hawaiian restaurant. And I was like, what are you doing here?
It did feel a bit like they had no idea how to style her in this scene and they last minute came up with something.
Yeah.
And usually she feels so curated.
Yeah, not this time, baby. Sorry. But Paul wants to know what she really wanted at his house that time.
And they don't say whether or not they slept together. And I have to know.
In my head, they absolutely did.
But
and
also,
that is that.
But it's weird that he didn't bring that up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I imagine it's interesting that them sleeping together hasn't changed their dynamic in any way.
I guess Paul doesn't want the point of what he's asking about to be sidetracked, maybe. Is in terms of like trying to justify it.
Yeah.
But in any case, Edie in classic fashion comes clean. She talks about how Susan keeps blathering on about blackmail notes and dead babies and mentions the Angela videotape.
She says it so casually.
Oh,
and
it's excellent.
I think part of it is she has absolutely no loyalty to Susan after the previous episode we saw her in, where Susan betrayed her. She was like, do you know what? This girl is not my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. And Edie confirms that Susan even thinks that Paul is evil.
She sort of thinks you're evil.
And also in the background, Mike overhears all of this as well, or at least is like looking at the interaction between them.
And Mike goes over to Edie to ask what everything was about. And Edie says, about Susan, if I liked her better, I'd warn her. And again, it shows that I think at this point in their relationship, after the whole Bill situation, Edie's going, this person is never going to like me. And I just need to accept that.
And at this point, why would Edie want her to like her?
Exactly.
Like Edie's like, I'm dodging a bullet. That's what Edie's thinking.
She's going...
She's like, Matrix, baby.
That was a really good sound effect. Should we go into voiceover work?
I really think we should. Maybe that will be our Patreon content, just random sound effects.
Have you heard my horn?
Please, go on. That's so not what I expected. I thought you were going to do like a big foghorn type thing.
Didn't you miss me?
Can we move on?
Didn't you miss me? Okay, let's move on. So, we are in a coffee shop that listeners, we will simply never see again. But it is apparently the local coffee shop and it actually looks very cute. Susan sees Mike come into it and she immediately sits down at a random table of women. Not gonna lie, I would happily be the alibi in this scenario. If I'm in a group and for whatever reason you sit down and give me the eyes, I'll pretend I've known you my entire life.
You absolutely will.
As long as you tell me what you're hiding from afterwards, obviously.
Oh yeah, you got to give the tea. Otherwise, you're going to be like, excuse me, we don't know this lady.
Who is this? Police.
Mike is like, Susan. And she's like, well, I'll talk to you girls later.
Which I loved. I want to be like, bye. Mike tells Susan to stay away from Paul. And Susan is basically saying, well, duh.
She's like, is this where you're at in your investigation, Mike? Because we been there.
She's like, this is where I was at episode 2. What is wrong with you? It's episode 2. She's going, this man is, what is it Lynette called him again? Do you remember when they were saying names for, and you were like, I can't believe she used that word because it's so intense.
Oh. No.
It was like formidable or something. It was
something like that. Yeah.
Anyway, Susan's basically like, thank you so much for warning me, Mike the investigator. And they leave.
In the next scene, Susan comes home to find Sophie putting up a beaded doorway situation.
A beaded curtain.
Yeah.
And she is correct. It does spice up the room.
I was just like, okay, Sophie, you do you.
Beaded curtains are coming back, I'm telling you.
And are you going to have one in your new home?
I don't mean to be that person that's like, my partner wouldn't let me, but I truly think that is
You're really outing yourself there.
That's where Rory would draw the line. He's like, I can handle all your little trinkets, but I don't want to, because again, I would hit myself in the face so much with that beaded curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Zack leaves Susan a gift for the gravel incident. He wants them to be friends.
This is crazy for many reasons. One, I think this is like the 4th time that someone has gifted someone a potted plant on this line.
They've got so many creative ideas, not when it comes to gifts.
Chocolates, also, do you know Susan at all if you're giving her something to take care of?
No.
That was such an evil laugh, Jakub. What was that? Just as I suspected. My plan's coming together. Okay, maybe I am not in voiceover work.
We'll work on it.
We'll work on it.
But yeah, he wants them to be friends. Well, that's not going to happen. So Susan once again tries to make it clear he is not welcome. But Zack is being very delulu and still thinks that him and Julie are in a relationship. So Susan makes it so directly clear that Julie is not interested in him and hands him back the plant.
Susan accidentally dumped Zack on Julie's behalf.
Yeah. Which I think Julie is going to be grateful for.
Yeah.
And so Zack yells at Susan, but Paul, who is seeing this from his front lawn, recalls Zack like a barking dog. And then a gardening Felicia takes notice. And Erin, what do we cut to?
We get a flashback of sisters just doing it for themselves.
Felicia and Martha! Bestie, she's back! Well, she's still dead, but she's back on her screen.
She's haunting the narrative. Before we get to that, I just want to say that this is Felicia looking significantly more hip and young when she's watching them on the lane. She's wearing like a red turtleneck thing. She just looks amazing. There's not a shawl in sight. Then we get to the flashback and it's business as usual. Shawls all over the shop. So, it's Martha and Felicia's sisterly bonding time, aka they still can't stand each other in the flashback. Felicia is saying, oh, that is Angela, whom I worked with. And Martha is doubling down, saying, no, in this photograph, I think you will find this is my neighbour, Mary Alice. Felicia says she worked with a very disturbed young woman when she was working with Mary Alice, who gave birth to a baby boy, who we know as audiences is Dana Zack. Sorry, that sounds like a hybrid. Dana Zack.
Dak.
Jack. No.
Zayna.
No. Zayna. Zayna the warrior prince. Okay, so.
Too busy thinking about a new sideshow about Zaina the Warrior Prince.
Okay, so Felicia and Angela, whom we know as Mary Alice, worked with a very disturbed woman who gave birth to a baby boy whom we can assume is Zack, who was known at the time as Dana. Felicia then heard the child was missing, and Martha is like, she stole a baby? And Felicia's like, don't look shocked, Martha. It makes your face look fat.
And that's my quote of the week.
And Felicia mentions that the biological mum of the baby, presumably Zack's mum, was a drug addict. And it's starting to sound more and more like women cut up into little bits in the box could in fact be bio-mum of Zaina.
Indeed. I think the only other detail in all of that was that a little bit after the baby disappeared, so did Mary Alice.
Yes.
Or Angela at that time. Or it was like a year later, Angela disappeared or something like that.
It's just all very...
Not long after... No, sorry. Angela disappeared about that time, and not long after, so did the baby.
What I find interesting is it looks like Martha actually had more pieces of the puzzle than we thought.
Yes. Yes.
Because Martha said in ages ago what she did to that baby.
I.e. stealing it.
Yes, but we thought, as viewers first time, that she was referring to hurting the baby, and we thought she got that wrong. So, this is all kicking off. It's all very, how would I say? It's exposition-y, but it's not bad exposition-y, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's earned.
It's a believable scene. And it's like the pieces have been coming together for a long time, so they're just like clicking now.
And it's so nice to see Martha back on our screen.
I loved her.
Love. But it's interesting that Felicia's visiting Martha on the lane.
I know, I think it was the other way around because it was Felicia's photo that Martha was like, oh, that's Mary Alice, my neighbour. How do you know her?
Oh, that makes so much more sense because I was going to say, why wouldn't Felicia be going, that's her, you.
The other one.
Other one.
So then, back in present day, Paul brings up moving again, but Zack continues his Delulu brain thoughts about Julie being in love with him, claiming that Susan is feeding her lies.
This bit's crazy.
Yeah, so Paul tells Zack that he is not special and that Julie can do better. Absolutely savage.
This is not the way to respond to your child's obsessive behavior. He's first of all, Julie's special. You're not. You ain't shit. You should have no self-esteem. Why do you have any self-worth? You're mediocre at best.
The only not justification, but in terms of like Paul's thinking, the only thing I can think of here is that he's saying and doing whatever he can to sort of break Zack out of that mindset so that he will agree to move, which he wants to do before Susan puts too much together and goes to the police. And so Paul is saying, my son's feelings are a lower priority than the police getting to us before we move in this moment.
I think in his Delulu brain, he's protecting Zack by doing this.
Yeah.
Because if he gets Zack to move, because he also mentions that if they don't move and Susan goes to the police, Paul goes to jail and Zack potentially goes back into the system. So he thinks, if I have to say the most horrible thing I possibly can, the problem is that because Zack has felt so separate from Paul ever since Mary Alice's death, it's so easy for him to believe, which is so difficult.
But Paul can see that he's on thin ice because Zack, I guess, still has too much on him and is too unpredictable to kind of risk pushing too much.
Yes, because he's a teenager.
And it does feel like Zack still has the power in this dynamic because Paul, I guess, needs Zack to agree to move, even though, I guess, like legally, he could just sell the house. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The power dynamic is crazy.
But again, then I kind of go, well, maybe Paul was right to lie to Zack so much. It's not bad. Because, this is what happens when he told them the truth.
I think Paul was wrong for letting things get to this place, but maybe now that they are here, do you know what I mean?
It also very much, at this point, let's see where we get to in the finale, but at this point, it very much feels like Paul is trying to cover up for Mary Alice. And that Mary Alice is the one, it feels like, who stole the baby. Susan is taking out the bins, and from nowhere pops, "Hello, Susan."
Jump scare.
It's not as bad as "Hey, Sexy."
It's not, yeah. That will forever be the scariest part in 8 seasons of show.
The scariest part of Paul Young is that he kind of shouts in lowercase.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good description.
It's like, "Hello, Susan," but it feels so threatening. Then he basically says he's going to tell Susan everything, which, as we know, means he's about to get more of a lasagna portion is getting fed to Susie Q. So Paul and Susan are having a cuppa, and Paul gives a stupid name change story about how Mary Alice was named after her Auntie Angela, and then she fell out with Auntie Angela, so she decided to change her name to Mary Alice. Susan says, "That doesn't sound like her," and Paul's like, "Neither did suicide, but she did that."
Which fair point.
I gasped. I was like, oh. Like, oh, Paul, are you allowed to say that? I mean, he is, but what? Anyway, Susan decides, you know what? Let's bury this under the rug. I'm going to stop looking. Paul's saying, I hope this clears everything up. And she kind of gives the vibe of, yeah, sure it does, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward, and I think it's pretty clear that she will not be letting it go.
Yes. Again, all of this investigation work that Susan is doing that Mike is not.
Oh.
Mike has gone, Paul Young is definitely suspicious. So Susan has gone to talk to him and find out information, and he's gone, I'm just going to ignore the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the information that Mike got of Paul having been one of the people that bought the toy chest that the body was found in and lives on in the area that he disappeared, he's not done enough with that. Why is he not going immediately to the police or something? He's just vibing.
Well,
I'm like, that's like probe more, Mike.
I do, not to stick up for Detective Mike, but considering he knows that they've got dodgy cops and they have beaten the crap out of him very recently, I do understand they're not going to the police. But also
I suppose his goal is to kill whoever did this as well,
yes,
as is Noah Bossman's instruction.
So we've also got this idea of the women in... This is all very important pieces of information that are being put together. So I just want to talk about it a little bit now. From the scene with Zack and Felicia, we can deduce that Deirdre is potentially Zack's mother.
Yeah. I mean, it would be pretty crazy if there was a separate plot line with a separate baby or whatever.
So this is a big reveal that the person Mike is looking for is Zack's mum.
Which potentially leads to other implications.
Exactly. But also, Zack is someone who's struggling with mental health problems at the moment. And it sounds like Deirdre also was struggling with mental health problems.
Lynette visits Tom at work and is jump scared by Tom's female coworker, Annabelle Foster, who we immediately find out is Tom's ex. We get some flashbacks. We find out that her and Tom used to date and she wanted to marry Tom, but that he was not the marrying kind until he met Lynette. And is it implied that they got engaged after a few weeks?
Yes.
Or is it implied that after a few weeks he changed his mindset about marriage? Because it sounded like a few weeks later they got engaged.
I think they got engaged a few weeks later.
Insane behavior.
But also what is equally insane is this is not their only origin story.
Yeah, you've mentioned that before, and I was trying to remember what the other one was.
I think there's one that they met in college because of Renee.
Yeah. So catch us in a few years.
Catch us in a few years while they completely retcon this. So forgive me for not...
well, until then, this is the
is
canon. Yeah. So that made Annabelle move back to Chicago, but Lynette is shook and clearly quite and rightly insecure about it when she learns that Annabelle has now been working with Tom for 3 months. 3 months! And he has not told her.
Not a peep. So are we meant to deduce that this is what he was telling his dad? That there was a secret. There was a secret that he hadn't told Lynette yet, and she would be fuming.
Ooh. Maybe. I didn't consider that. But I wonder, like, because that feels like it was a few months ago, that episode with Tom's dad. And so it would be weird for Tom to be like, oh, this is marriage ending after only working with this woman for like a couple of weeks, especially since in the next scene he's going to act like there's not doing anything wrong.
But I think that's him doubling down.
Maybe. Anyway, that's a very valid point.
But Annabelle's doing too much.
Yeah. But Lynette says, Annabelle says, I guess that makes me your dirty little secret. Ha ha ha. Like, yuck.
Too much. I don't care what's happened in your past. He has 4 children with this woman.
Yeah.
I get not liking Lynette. I get not making things easy for Lynette. And I'm not saying that you have to be nice to Lynette, but to be nice to Tom, who's the one who cheated on you, and not be nice to Lynette feels unequal. Like, don't just blame the women in this scenario.
Yeah.
I do think Lynette's to blame. We'll get there.
Ooh. And then as Lynette is leaving, she's like, oh, I brought you your file, and like aggressively throws it at Tom. It's quite funny.
There's something that I defend Lynette always, but I can't defend her in one thing. And it comes up in this scene. We get a flashback of her and Tom. And Mary Alice reveals that her maiden name is Lynette Lindquist.
Oh my God, I missed that. Lindquist. Lynette Lindquist. That's mad.
Also, that's just wrong. Like, that's just not her name.
I refuse to believe it. The writers made a mistake. It was a typo.
Lynette Foster, I could have got. And we could have had Annabelle Lindquist.
Yeah.
And that sounds more...
That's a side character kind of name.
Yeah, that's what we're used to. That's the format that we've been fed for 20 episodes now. Don't change it up on us.
This is all very stressful.
Lynette Lindquist.
Oh.
You know what's going to be so funny when I make you watch All of Us Are Dead? And that's the show. The show is people going... Anywho.
Yes.
So, Tom comes home and Lynette is in the house like a supervillain. She appears
lurking in the shadows.
Excuse me. Yeah, she's lurking in the shadows. She pops up. Because she is Lynette and she is practical, straight asks Tom if he still has feelings for Annabelle. And what makes me furious is Tom does not in any way reassure her and does not say no.
Yeah, it's a shame because I feel like in the last few episodes, you made so much progress with your opinions on Tom. It's like, oh, there's a cute moment here. He's not the worst. And Tom just immediately shits all that down the toilet.
Exactly. I understand that he's saying, I have to work with her. I have to do this, blah, blah, blah. But he kind of says, I didn't tell you because I knew how you'd react, which I always think is the ultimate cop-out. If you're with your partner and you're saying, oh, I didn't tell you because I knew you'd react this way, well, then take the reaction. That's your partner. Yeah.
You know that you're doing something that's going to upset them and like you're admitting to that.
Yeah.
Like, why would you... Craziness.
If he'd taken charge of the situation and said, I've been asked to vouch for her. I realize this might make you uncomfortable. Her first day in the office, why don't we all go for lunch together? Why don't we do this? Let's have a chat. What are your concerns? What are not your concerns? What are your boundaries? Is it if I'm with her, I have to text you or call you every hour so that makes you feel safer? Like, why are Lynette's insecurities seen as negatives and not insecurities that it's his job as her partner to reassure her on?
Truly, if he'd gotten ahead of it and told her from the get-go, all of this could have been avoided. They might have argued about it a bit, but nowhere near to this degree.
Because now you've not just got the betrayal of him vouching for this woman in her in his office. You've got the betrayal of the lie. And she says, Lynette, if she stays, I will haunt your office. And she says something along the lines of, I will make your lunches every day. I will pop in and visit. I will be at every Christmas party, every birthday celebration. And this moment is the moment where I feel like Tom should have stepped in and gone, I understand why you're insecure about this. This makes complete sense to me. Let's talk about it. I messed up by not telling you sooner. Does he do any of that? No.
He says something like, well, then I better get you a parking space. And I'm like, girl, come on, that's not the way to go.
Exactly. And then Lynette makes the same mistake that Annabelle makes in the previous scene now, in my head. Because what she does is she goes to Annabelle. In the same way that Annabelle's mad at Lynette for it instead of Tom, Lynette is mad at Annabelle instead of Tom. And it's absolutely insane.
Well, I don't think Lynette would be mad at Tom cheating on Annabelle with her because it was with her. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, like, no, I mean, Lynette is mad at Annabelle right now for working there.
Oh, right, yeah,
instead of being mad at Tom.
Yes,
I'm going to call him the Rotten Tom Atto.
The Rotten Tom what?
Tomato, like a tomato.
Oh,
like
sure. I mean, all tomatoes are rotten, so that works for me.
Not all tomatoes.
Yeah, they are.
Not all tomatoes.
Yeah, they are. Facts. Sir, you heard it here first.
Sir, eat a pizza.
Yeah, a delicious, delicious Texan barbecue pizza.
Do you never eat tomato-based pizzas?
I do sometimes.
Okay.
Let's move on. For the listeners who don't know me, I'm a adamant tomato hater.
He's a tomato hater. He's an Erin hater. He also
One
hates,
and the same.
He hates children. He hates cyclists.
I hate puppies and all good things.
Kittens. And what he hates more than anything is women. Is that right?
Wow.
Do you think that's a fair summary?
Well, do the women in question have tomatoes with them at all times?
Yes, baskets and baskets of tomatoes.
Anyway, the biggest anyway I'm ever giving.
Episode title, Jakub hates women.
Jakub hates women in brackets, tomatoes. So Lynette goes to see Annabelle the next day and, being her classic direct self, asks her if she has feelings for Tom.
Yep.
Annabelle is not looking to break up a happy couple, is what she says. But she also says that that's more Lynette's thing anyway.
Ugh.
Yikes.
Which confirms that there was cheating going on.
But also, after all these years, I'm like, Annabelle, let it go.
But how many years have they been married? We don't know.
Well, at least as long as the kids are old. So
Yeah.
the oldest kids are what, 6, 8?
Yeah.
That's a long time to hold on to a grudge.
Yes, I do think, though, that Annabelle, to stick up for her a little bit, she's playing with her food. She's playing with Lynette because she's getting...
How is this you sticking up for Annabelle?
Well... I just mean that I understand what she's doing, and I kind of think that it's reasonable. That what she's doing is she's going like, I can't hurt you and I don't have feelings for this man, but if I can make you feel a little bit of the pain that I felt when this was happening, then maybe I'm going to do that. Maybe I am going to wind you up. Maybe you deserve to know how it feels when your partner can be taken by another woman. I kind of get it. Because she says they were in love.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me, because if they'd exchanged, like, in the beginning scene where we see him and Annabelle together, it feels very, like, situationshipy.
Well, she said they're in love. I think it's clear that only Annabelle was in love with him, because otherwise Tom would not be marrying and getting engaged to Lynette a few weeks after they start their affair.
Yes.
Crazy. So Lynette says that Tom and her are a team and their marriage is solid. She lies.
Solid. Rock solid, Lynette, baby.
Girl.
She also says, watch your step, to Annabelle. And she's doing it wearing, because in the last scene, she kind of looked a little bit disheveled. This scene, when she comes to speak to Annabelle, she is in a beautiful summer dress. Her hair and makeup is perfectly done.
She knows what she's about.
She knows what she's doing.
Renee would be proud.
Renee would be proud. Can't wait till you all meet Renee.
Yeah, give it time.
We'll get there.
She's cooking.
She's cooking.
She's busy on set. She's busy on the set of Ugly Betty right now.
Renee would never cook. Never.
That's true.
So I think this is my favorite scene in the episode, actually.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Yes. So Edie is on the construction site and Lynette approaches. And she says to Edie, So look, you're basically a predator and I need some advice. And Edie looks flattered.
I think she takes a moment to process, like, how am I going to take this? And she decides, I'm Team Lynette, baby.
Yeah. She's like, you know what? Lynette gave me some good advice on how to be a friend. And Lynette's all right.
She's also being direct. And as we know, Edie loves that shit.
So we cut to them having a chat. And Edie immediately says, you did the right thing coming to me. Edie advises Lynette that the thing to do in this scenario, after establishing that Annabelle is attractive, is to keep your friends close and enemies closer. And that's what Edie does whenever she's intimidated by women. Lynette points out that Edie doesn't have any women friends, and Edie says she's never had to do that because she's never been threatened by a woman.
Oh, she's so the best character. It's unreal.
She is magnificent. We then cut to Tom playing with the baby on the couch in a rare moment of parenting. And Lynette announces that she is going to have Annabelle over for dinner. And Tom looks horrified.
Well, the way she says it, she's like, I'm thinking of having a dinner. We're going to have a dinner party. I'm thinking of inviting Annabelle, which to me in my head is like, inviting a number of people, including Annabelle. It's like, no, just Annabelle.
Also, we know, has anyone had a successful dinner party on this lane yet?
Hard no.
It's a hard no.
O. Yeah. So
it's a wisteria shame.
Yeah, wisteria shame. That could have been our whole podcast title.
Wisteria shame. Oh, no, I like our title.
No, ours is the best. It's better than all the other ones.
Should we reveal that we went through like 500 titles for this?
I think the only one we were like seriously considering, which was our working title for a while, was Hysteria Lane.
Yes, but again, it was only the pilot.
Yeah, and then we changed it. We had to re-record a little bit to change us saying that.
But Wisteria Shame would have been good as well.
Yeah.
But there's lots of little...
Great little puns and
I
whatnot.
love Mary Alice. What did you do?
It's the best one.
It's the best one. We did it. We did a good job.
So we then cut to said dinner party. They've already eaten. Lynette is clearing the table as Tom and Annabelle are laughing about work. And at one point, hold hands. Insane.
I am so glad you picked up on that.
Tom is getting a low score this week, baby. It's one thing to argue they're just work friends, but when he knows how uncomfortable Lynette is with the dynamic, you can't be holding hands like that. That's insane.
Yes, Jakub, you get it. Oh my God. I am so glad that I do not have to explain this. That her grabbing the hand is a declaration of war, and Tom letting her in front. Meanwhile, Lynette is tidying up the lovely meal that she prepared for them all.
It's like, it's one thing if there has not been any established awkwardness. It might be why is he doing that?
Yeah.
This, unbelievable.
Also, I'm a very affectionate person. I'm a very touchy-feely person. And I do grab people when I'm laughing and things like that. The closed hands. Because when I grab someone, sorry for the people that are, like, I grab someone hand on,
Yeah.
And it's, the hand is
It's
flat.
a one-way touch.
It's a one-way touch. It's the fact she goes, and it's a hand hold. There is clenching. There are fingers interlocking.
It's affectionate, which is insane.
It's intimate. And you're going to do that in front of me after I've just cooked you dinner? I'm so sorry. I'm about to murder you both.
Unbelievable. So then they clock the kids watching them from the stairs, which Lynette has clearly orchestrated to rub their family in Annabelle's face. Tom introduces them to her, and one of the twins has a pic they drew of their perfectly happy family.
Under a rainbow.
Yeah, which he then says, Mom told us to.
The kids are grasses. For anybody who is not from Scotland, a grass is a snitch, I guess?
Yeah, that's the same slang, I guess.
Yeah, same thing. The kids are grasses.
Absolutely. So Tom takes the kids to bed, and Annabelle basically says, I know what the fuck you're doing. And I mean, it's obvious to the audience. It's obvious to everyone involved.
She kind of gives kudos. She goes, you know what? You've put on quite the show for me.
The only person who would not pick up on this probably is Bree.
Bree would be like, this is the bare minimum. She's like, this was a mediocre party at best. No one has mentioned if their husband cries after they ejaculate or not.
And we're simply dying to know about Tom.
And no one's made veal. But I also think that another little mini betrayal. The kids call Annabelle pretty. I'm sorry, you guys are getting abandoned. And again, this is nowhere near the worst dinner party we've had on the lane. And the fact that it's so bad, but it's not even top 5. So they're having dessert and tea and biscuits. Lots of tea in this episode. Yeah, nice. And Annabelle's phone rings and she goes to talk to Peterson, which is one of the generic men name that we know from Tom's company. Tom calls the evening insulting and calls Lynette insecure. He says, Jakub, I'm about to lose my freaking mind. He says, have I ever given you any reason to doubt me? As if he did not have sexual feelings for the nanny, and that wasn't the entire reason that they had to get rid of her.
Yep.
Also, this conversation, I'm not going to say anything about anything that Tom does in the future. I think it's spoilery.
It's not relevant to this conversation.
It's not relevant to this conversation. However, bookmark this. Tom says Lynette isn't going to be happy until she drives him out of the marriage. And this very, very, very much feels like Tom is doubling down and trying to make Lynette the problem here. And it's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, but also I think if I was Lynette, and with the way their relationship started, because they make a comment about how, we started this relationship through you cheating. And I don't think I could ever start a relationship with someone that way because I would forever be insecure.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, how you get them is how you lose them. That's always been what I was taught. Like if you know there's loads of ways of saying it. There's the once a cheater, always a cheater. But if you enter a relationship with someone while they are disrespecting their relationship, it suggests to me that they are going to disrespect yours. And whilst Tom is not cheating here, he is doing the disrespecting of the relationship, which is the reason Lynette and him got together. Yeah.
But also, I just think that I don't think they will ever have a strong relationship until they learn to trust each other. And like, I'm in this situation, I am Team Lynette, but I will say that Lynette is very guilty frequently of having a lot of trust issues with Tom.
Yes.
And it makes sense, I guess, that it could root from their origin. But at the same time, until Lynette does learn to trust Tom, and that is partly something Lynette has to work on, it's never going to be solid.
But I think every time she doesn't trust him, there's a reason for it. So like the nanny, she was like, you lied and then you tried to sleep with me. And then you lied again and said you weren't attracted to her. So it's like, is this trust issues, or is her gut screaming at her not to trust this man?
I want to be clear, I was not defending Tom there. That was purely just a comment on Lynette's end with Tom out of the equation.
I know you weren't defending Tom, baby. Don't worry, I got you.
Just for our listeners, though.
Just for beep. Who texts about it. It's really hard to see them interact with each other. And it's also really difficult to watch a partner want reassurance so badly and the other person in the equation not giving it. Because again, even by the end of the episode, he has not said there is nothing going on. There will be nothing going on. My feelings for her are completely gone. There's been none of that. And it would be so easy to do.
Yikes.
So,
add it to the yikes.
It's all a big broth now.
Oh.
Big broth. What do we think is in the yike soup? What do you think it tastes like?
It tastes of tomato.
No, then it's nice.
No, you're wrong.
I think it tastes like
maybe
expired milk.
Maybe the yike soup is like personalized to each person. So it's everyone's worst nightmare. So mine is just a tomato soup.
Mine is just peas. It's just a big bowl of peas.
No, yours is a cold ham and pineapple soup or whatever it was.
Yeah, when I was on holiday in Barcelona, I was trying to be daring because Jakub is always daring with his food choices and I'm always very beige. And I tried a ham and melon soup.
That's what it was, melon.
And it was atrocious.
I think, though, you need to take more baby steps. I think you overextended yourself. I think it's good to be adventurous. I think you should put yourself out there more. But you know that you hate cold meat. So to pick a cold soup with ham in it was kind of wild.
But I was like, I'm in Barcelona.
The cold ham will taste better here.
It's like, I'm opening my eyes to all these experiences.
Yeah. And then at the end of that scene, Annabelle comes back with a work emergency. So Tom leaves to pull an all-nighter with Annabelle.
And she's like, don't worry, I'll take care of him.
Yikes. Well, I'm glad that's done being talked about now and we can move on.
Gabby.
She is car shopping. And she's excited that they're starting to bounce back financially now that Carlos is off to jail and they've settled or whatever.
Worst outfit of the episode.
Yes, thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. And we're going to come back to it.
Okay.
We'll come back to it.
So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It simply had to be said.
I'm so glad we're in agreement about that. Otherwise, it would have been unforgivable. Otherwise, I simply would have served you ham and melon soup for the rest of our lives if you disagreed.
That's a disproportionate response.
No, it's not.
Oh,
not if you saw this outfit, listeners. So she is having a going away party, as we've mentioned, for Carlos on Saturday, and would love a new car in her driveway for everyone to see. And when the sales lady asks where Carlos is going, Gabby says that it's sort of a government-sponsored sabbatical for 8 months. 6 with good behavior.
She's doing like a prison sentence reveal party.
Yeah.
It's like a gender reveal.
Oh my God. I'm trying to think. What's in the cake is the number of months it's going to be away for. So she's sitting in one of the show cars and is kind of affected by the intense smell of the leather seats. So she thinks, and she throws up in the car. The sales lady makes the assumption that Gabby is pregnant, which shakes Gabby to her core. She goes into hard denial. She's on the pill, for goodness sake. And she is refocusing now on buying a car. She wants a cute convertible, not a family 4-door car. And not the one she threw up in, though. She'll need a fresh one, which really made me laugh because it's like asking a sales assistant, like, do you have this in my size in the back? Can you go check? I just think with cars, that sounds so funny to me.
It is funny. And I was cackling after she threw up and it cuts to them talking and you can see men in all red suits with like the fumigation. Suits, yeah. With the fumigation masks on, like deep spraying the car.
My God.
But the outfit.
Yeah. So basically, Gabby may be pregnant, but in this outfit, she is not glowing. No. She is in a silver mini skirt and a teal sweater that sort of peels back to reveal shoulders.
I've written cyan. Like the ink color.
Yeah, that's a better color.
And I didn't know the skirt was silver. I thought it was like bad denim, but it could be either.
I think it's like a horrible metallic. But it's like a matte kind of silver.
And she's got this horrible red lip pairing with it that just clashes with it so bad. Like, maybe Carlos isn't the one that's meant to be going to jail.
This pregnancy is really messing with her decision making.
Call the fashion police. Also, by the way, Gabby should obviously be in jail anyway for having an affair with a child. But also the fashion police.
Yeah, this is adding to her lifetime sentence, an extra couple of years, chucked on top of that.
Yeah, just chuck it on. Just add it in.
Add it in.
Also, don't assume anyone's pregnant. If you don't know them, don't assume anyone's pregnant. Don't comment on their body. Maybe say, oh, you should go to the doctor. Or even if she were to say, that's interesting. I had similar experiences when I was pregnant, but leave it open. Don't be like, well, you're pregnant. Don't do that.
Oh my God. And now we're going to go backwards in time to when Bree went to friend break up with George at the pharmacy.
Oh my God. That was so long ago. So, Bree, Gabby is in the pharmacy trying to buy a pregnancy test from Ginger, George's not girlfriend. And she is saying, is this a good one? And Ginger's like, I don't know. And Gabby goes away reluctantly to use the bathroom to take the test after George, the pharmacist, comes over and says, you know, this is where the toilet is. He then turns to Ginger and says, you need to be nicer to the customers.
Yeah, he's like so horrible to her until Bree comes in when he turns around with the biggest, most friendliest smile.
Yeah. Then Gabby screams, son of a bitch, and comes out of the bathroom, which we know means she has received a positive pregnancy test and she is anything but positive about it, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do when things get rough? You go for a higher power.
Yes.
She's like, this is above my spiritual pay grade. Yeah. I need to take this to the top.
And so we see Gabby with Father Caudry,
who's a lot more chill this episode.
Yeah.
He says, God, what have you done now, when he sees her?
Yeah, so he's wondering what she's done that's worth punishing when Gabby wonders aloud if she's being punished. And he's basically being like, I each on the jail gardener, which you did tell me about.
And he says, I thought that was over. And he's just loving the tea.
Yeah, Gabby is basically worried about being terrible parents since her and Carlos are both so self-centered. Correct. And Caudry is like, look, why are you here? Why are you coming to me? And she just wants to know who to be angry at.
Yeah. She's like, who do I file my complaint with?
Yeah.
Do I go straight to the vicar? Do I go to a priest?
Do I just talk straight to God? Am I going all the way to the top? I want to speak to your manager.
I want to speak to the manager.
Yeah. I want to speak to your manager at church is mental. So Caudry suggests trying to be great.
I know he's in there. I know he's in there. Speak. What do I have to do to get a direct line?
Oh my God.
Sorry.
No, it was worth it. Caudry suggests trying to be grateful instead, but she doesn't have time for that. She has a party to plan.
For the incarceration party. My husband's going to jail. Also, I'm pregnant. Everything in this. So I think the thing is that we, as viewers, are being told that this is a normal party. That this is a normal thing to do. And I just can't help.
Well, they never call it the incarceration party. It's always just the barbecue or something like that, which sounds so normal.
No.
So we reach the titular barbecue scene. It's not really part of the title. The climactic barbecue scene. Everyone is there. It's a lot's going to happen. So we're going to break it down into a lot of sort of micro scenes. So, yeah.
So Gabby's becoming a vegetarian because she is barbecuing on the grill and the smell of meat is making her feel sick. Bree's outfit is cute. The whole lane has shown up for the jail barbecue, which is very iconic, honestly. Gabby runs to throw up. George and Ginger have a chat. Ginger is missing a wedding for this. I'm flying through.
I feel so bad for Ginger.
She's missing her cousin's wedding. And George is like, it's just a commitment ceremony because George is not an ally. And he doesn't recognize anything other than, heterosexual in a church marriage.
Mm-hmm. Yikes, add it to the yikes soup. I also love that Felicia's there with Edie because I can't imagine her coming on her own. So I really imagine that Edie's dragged her out for this.
I feel like Edie has knocked on Felicia's door and gone, this is what the barbecue is for. And Felicia's gone, how delightful. I'm going to show up and smile and see what's going on.
Yeah, and she gets the show.
It's I would say my dream barbecue.
So yeah, as Gabby runs off to the bathroom to throw up, Paul and Zack also arrive, much to Julie's chagrin. And
great use of the word chagrin.
Thank you. I thought so when I used it, and I also looked it up to make sure it was the correct use.
No, I'm buzzing about your chagrin.
He's a literary king.
And you know what? I'm chagrining at you for your use of the word.
So then later we see Zack approach Julie, who's being very cold to him. And when he doesn't take the hint still, she very directly says that she wants nothing to do with him.
And he's just like, oh, but I brought you these hot dogs.
That would probably work on me, to be fair.
Then we see Gabby in the bathroom.
Sorry, hold on. Complete tangent.
Whoa.
Since you've mentioned hot dogs. I went to see the movie Weapons. Remember last week I was like, I'm going to go to the cinema.
Yeah.
That's what I went to see. Great movie. There's a scene where this gay couple are sitting down for dinner and they just have a tray of about 10 hot dogs between them.
No.
There's 2 of them. There's like 10 hot dogs out. That was insane, unhinged behavior. They deserved everything that happened to them.
Meat sweats. So Gabby is in the bathroom and she pours a glass of champagne, then reluctantly throws it down the sink, which I think is us seeing where she's at in terms of the pregnancy. I think this is the closest that we will see on Desperate Housewives of a woman considering having an abortion, because abortion doesn't exist in Fairview. It doesn't exist on the lane. No one talks about it as a choice. This is the closest I think we have of seeing that kind of, will she
I'm
continue?
not thrilled by this news. Yeah.
Yes, but even so, she decides not to have the champagne, which, as we know, is potentially not the best thing for... Well, it's not the best thing for the baby. I don't know why I said potentially. I don't know why I was beating around the bush with it. Gabby starts aggressively beating up her birth control, which is such a move, because she's taking out her anger on the thing she thinks has caused this pregnancy. In her beating up of the birth control pills, she realizes that the pills have, as Mary Alice says in her voiceover, very obviously been tampered with. Which again is some subtle shade from Mary Alice, essentially saying, Gabby, honey, you brought this on yourself. This was obvious.
Let's not put any blame on Gabby though.
No, I'm not victim blaming Gabby, but Mary
Do you
Alice
think Mary Alice is?
I think she's very obviously been tampered with. It has the same energy as when she's talking about Mike and she's like looking in all the wrong places. Like,
yeah.
Mary Alice is sassy.
Oh my goodness. We then see as Rex approaches / confronts George, who accidentally spills a drink on Rex.
I actually thought that is the one bit that was genuinely an accident, because Rex does swerve him.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd need to rewatch it. But Bree...
Playback.
Bree says it's... Oh my God, Jakub correction 2 next week. This is getting out of hand. So Bree says it's not a big deal as he has a girlfriend now who he's brought. And she takes George's side in telling Rex that he should apologize to him, which I thought was kind of crazy. Yeah,
it is absolutely insane. And also we cut to Ginger, who is styled like Cam from Tracy Beaker.
Oh my God, what a deep cut.
What a deep cut. And she's just kind of nervously eating the side, and we see her and she's clearly not interested in any of this.
Mm-hmm. And so when Bree tells Rex he should apologize to George, Rex thinks about it for a second and then he says, what the hell? And pushes George into the pool, who on his way down grabs onto Bree instinctively and pulls her in with him. It's excellent, to be honest.
It's so good. I was so happy about all of it. Even Bree coming in, I thought that was funny because Rex picks Bree up and then goes, to be fair, I only pushed him.
Something that's just occurred to me. Are we in Gabby and Carlos's backyard?
Yeah.
Do they have a pool? I don't think it's ever seen again. Ever.
Yeah, I think we might have seen a pool in the background when they were doing their laundry in the hot tub.
I don't think we did. I don't think they have a pool.
Maybe they got a new pool.
New car, new pool, whatever. Anyway, sorry, just that occurred to me right now and I was like...
Sorry, but Rex pushing George into the water.
Oh, so satisfying.
Gave me such a sense of satisfaction. And it is that thing where I go, I can't understand why Bree is sticking up for this man. I think she sees him as like a helpless little bean and feels sorry for him. And it's that feeling like, you know, when everyone starts so even if people gang up on someone that I hate, I find myself starting to stick up for them because I just feel like it's like a mob, like I'm trying to go against the mob mentality of everyone on someone.
Well, either way, it was great. I had no memory of that happening. So it was a very pleasant surprise. And
I love Bree and green.
Yeah, always do.
You know what?
Everybody loves green.
It's not easy being green. You never heard that song? It's by Kermit from the Muppets.
It's not much of a Muppets guy.
You are Kermit?
Please move on.
I can't. I thought I just did this bit. No.
I did the pushing and the pulsing,
sorry.
so.
Gabby swarms into the party, having realized that her birth control has been tampered with. She screams at Carlos about her being pregnant. She slaps him across the face and runs off. And Carlos has the audacity to look happy. I'm guessing because he was going to prison so soon that he was on such an intense deadline to get her pregnant in his head. And I think he thought his time had run out.
I didn't read it much more than just he's just really happy that he's going to have a baby. The news he's going to have a baby because that's something he's wanted. Regardless of all the shit he's been up to, I'm just like, that was how I read it.
I think he's worked out he's baby trapped her in this moment. I think he successfully was hoping to get her pregnant before he went away to jail so that she would be tied to him in some way. And it's gross. Then Edie turns to Felicia and says, "This is turning into one hell of a party."
And she's right.
She's right.
Later, we see Susan try to console Gabby. Gabby isn't buying the whole blessing in disguise thing.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Sometimes, not all the time, this show feels like, and again, I am not judging any party, whether a person chooses to have kids, a person chooses not to have kids. This scene, however, feels very pro-baby propaganda. And it could be because Susan is trying to make the best of a bad situation for Gabby and comfort her into saying it's not as bad as you think. But what she's actually saying is, you don't realise this is the best thing that's ever happened to you, which I don't think is helpful in any way.
I think she does take it back a little bit, or at least stops pushing it when Gabby reveals that she doesn't know who the father is.
Slay.
Their conversation is cut short, though, as Susan's home explodes. It explodes.
Susan's house is completely on fire.
That was, and this is not a dream sequence. This is not someone imagining it.
I forgot.
I'm not kidding. Her home explodes. Well, their kitchen explodes.
I forgot. I completely forgot and then went, wait, what just happened?
Unbelievable. So that was Gabby's arc, but we're now going to do a sort of post-barbecue scene arc, which kind of wraps up a couple plot lines.
Yeah, we are. So we cut to the firemen in Susan's kitchen. Sophie is there. The firemen are talking about how this seems to have been a situation of a candle or some sort of flame that's caused the fire. Sophie says that she swears she blew out her French vanilla candle. And just as Susan is kind of starting to doubt her, she looks out of, I was going to say the window, there is no window anymore, and sees suspicious Paul looking suspicious.
Ooh, I got chills. It's been a while since we've said that.
And Paul is looking at Susan, and Susan is looking at Paul, and Paul's like, maybe I started the fire. It's been always burning.
Excellent.
Thanks.
We then, in another scene, see Bree approach George at the pharmacy again to apologise on behalf of Rex. George is sad knowing that Rex clearly won't let them be friends, and Bree says that it's not up to Rex, and they essentially agree to start a secret friendship affair.
Why is she doing this? It feels so un-Bree to get the person that she loves back and to still be seeking this relationship with George. I can't get a read on it. And you know what? I would love people in the comments who had any theories on kind of Bree's motivation behind all of this to let us know, because I'm stumped.
I mean, we got the throwaway line of my only cultural friend, but I think what that represents is more that George is one of the only people she knows who cares about a lot of the same things, like the way, like their politeness and their etiquette and all of these kinds of things. And she doesn't have anyone that she relates to in that kind of way. I'm not saying that's enough of a justification. I'm just saying, and as far as I can tell, that is the justification. So I'm going to roll with it because that's what it is.
Yeah. It's ugh. So then we go to Susan with the yellow pages. And she is looking up I for investigator. And she finds a detective agency which is dedicated, cheating spouses, stalkers, the whole shebang. And we see her at a diner and she's saying, I need to know about this man. I've tried going to the police and they don't think it's anything, which I think is so significant and just completely glazed over. And I need some help. And we turn around. And it's Mr. Detective Man!
It's Mr. Detective / Hitman!
Mr. Detective Hitman! Mr. Detective Hitman!
He is back, baby!
When I say Mr. Detective, you say Hitman. Mr. Detective.
Hitman!
Mr. Detective.
Hitman!
I screamed.
Oh my god, it was unbelievable.
I think, again, we both love secondary characters.
Yes.
And again, both of us forgot that this man came back.
Or that he existed in the first place.
Oh no, I always remembered he existed as Mr. Detective Hitman.
I love how it's like, you know, Susan's handing him the picture of Paul, like, oh, I need to find everything I can. He's very much like, yeah, I think I can help with this. He's like, this is going to be such an easy job for me.
Also, he is the first result in the yellow pages for Hitman. Oh, sorry, for Detective, not for Hitman. H for Hitman. No, the first one. And you're telling me that Mr. Bossman Noah hired Mike Delfino instead?
Well, personal connection.
But he's admitted he's rubbish.
But I also love that Susan, who knows Mike has done detective-y stuff from finding all the shit in his house, also didn't consider going to Mike.
Because she's found out more about Paul Young in 10 minutes than he has in 10 months at this point.
Oh, incredible.
Mike doesn't even know Bongo's dead.
He's still buying food, putting it out. He's like, must not be hungry.
There you go. Oh, that's weird.
Oh, we reach our final scene.
We
That's
sure
the one
do.
I'll use.
We sure do.
Mary Alice talks about spring coming every year and that not everyone stops to smell the flowers. Some are instead worrying about the future and mistakes they've made in the past. And we see Lynette as Tom goes to work and Gabby looking worried. Mary Alice continues that others are preoccupied with not getting caught or thinking of ways to catch someone else. And this is paired with Bree and George hanging out and Susan just looking over at Paul for the 100th time.
The amount of times that they force Mark Moses's coverage just to be him staring and looking suspicious. I wonder if they say to him, can you just do the Paul for a bit?
They probably just had a day of filming Paul looking suspicious in various outfits and went, great, that's the season's worth of suspicious footage.
And you know what? He looks very handsome doing it.
Of course. And then Mary Alice finishes that there will always be a few who do stop and appreciate what spring has given them, which is paired with Felicia doing gardening.
With the garden gnomes, with Martha's garden gnomes.
They're back, baby. Another minor character. Just as there will always be those who prefer to sit in the dark, brooding over everything they've lost. And with that, our final shot is of Zack laying in bed in the dark with a lighter. Looking at what I can only describe as a shrine to Julie.
It's a creepy Julie shrine that looks like she's already dead. And also, the lighter has an implication that he started the fire.
Yes, I thought that was kind of confirming it almost in a way.
But did he?
Well, now you're putting doubt in my mind, but I think so. We'll find out.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Oh my God, what an episode.
See, I really liked it. I think because I'm really enjoying the ones that I don't have as strong a memory of because it's like a nice surprise when not so many things happen and people come back and stuff.
I think the Lynette and Tom arc ruined it for me. In fact, let's talk about the husbands.
Yeah, let's talk about this. So we're going to start with Tom. Let's just get him out the way.
2.
I was going to say 2. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Carlos. He doesn't really do much. He's kind of like...
That smile alone.
We're bringing back because in the last few episodes, we've taken it episode at a time and taken out the fact that he's been messing with Gabby's birth control, but that's very much a present part of this plot line. So I think it's got to be a 1.
It's a 1.
It's a 1. Also, spending money you earn from slave labor to throw a party for yourself.
Oh.
1 territory.
Not cute.
It's 1 territory.
It's 1 territory. It's 1 behavior. I would give him 0 again, but we keep giving him 0. So I'll give him a 1 on this occasion.
Purely because he just wasn't doing much in this episode,
Yes.
0 was for doing the birth control thing in the first place.
Yes.
Rex. Ooh, Rex is the most one I'm unsure about, I think, because I loved him throwing George in the pool.
He gets 2 marks for me for that, no matter what.
Yeah, he was just a bit annoying in that first scene at the Orchid Garden Centre shopping.
I want to give him a 6 or 7.
Okay. I think 6, because I was going to say
6.
4 or 5. So let's go lower with 6. And then Mike, who isn't in it much again, but, he does try and warn Susan. He's all well-intentioned this episode.
5. Average.
But it feels weird to rank him lower than Rex when Rex had like some actively annoying scenes.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything good.
Well, he tries to warn Susan against Paul, and I mean, she's 10 steps ahead of him, but...
Well, see, I would have marked Rex a 5, but he gets 2 points for pushing George in the pool.
Right, okay, I'll put Mike as 5 then. That seems fair to me. I understand the logic there of the 2 point getting that. Yeah.
And then...
That's the husband.
Them's the men.
That's the men's.
So who's your monster of the week? My monster of the week is Annabelle Foster.
Yes. I don't think you can really argue against that.
Yes.
Now, worst neighbor, I realize I haven't thought about, so I'm going to decide now. Who's yours?
I'm going to think about that now too.
Ooh, we'll be right back.
It's Bree.
For?
Inviting George to her friend's incarceration party and also inviting his girlfriend.
His girlfriend, yeah.
His air quotes girlfriend. Yeah, and
that's
then
fair.
I just think, and then also I don't know. That's, no.
I'm thinking, just for a bit of differentiation, I'm going to go with Zack for worst neighbor because he's so bloody persistent and can't take a hint.
And he also might have started a fire.
Yeah, so that's kind of giving worst neighbor.
It's kind of giving arson.
Yeah.
We love you all so much. Make good choices.
And until next week,
stay desperate.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to check out our Instagram for visuals, behind-the-scenes content, and more.
You can find us by searching for Modded, that's MEWDYD.
Or just search for Mary Alice, What Did You Do?
This podcast is brought to you entirely by us, Erin McGee
and Jakub Tanzi. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to leave us a review. It really helps us out.
Join us next time for another episode of Mary Alice,
What Did You Do?
You're going to get echoes, but don't worry. Woo!
Do the horn with the echo.
Uh-huh.